Are you drowning in tasks and losing focus on what really matters in your business? Did you know that every hour spent on invoicing, emails, data entry, or calendar chaos is an hour not spent growing your business? That's where Oak City Admins comes in. We handle the busy work so you can lead, scale, and breathe easier. For less than the cost of a full time hire, you get a dedicated expert who pays for themselves in productivity. If the biggest obstacle in running your small business is delegating to elevating, let Oak City Admins help you grow. Smart support, serious results.
She has been captivating audiences for years with her wit and charm, straight from the networking floor to give you all the dirt. It's Dusta.
Hi, y'all, and welcome to another exciting episode of Down Home Dirt, the show where we dive deep into the journey of entrepreneurship with those who took the plunge and all the ups and downs that come with it. I'm your host, Dusta, and today we're joined with Michel with Oak City Spice Blends. Welcome, and thank you for coming out today.
Oh, thanks so much. I really appreciate the opportunity.
I'm super excited to get to know you. You sent me a PR package, and I absolutely love it. I fell in love with the Viking salt, and there's a couple of other ones, like Cowboy Crunch.
I know.
So it has really kicked up my game because I'm going to be honest with you. My little one refused to eat chicken. Guess who eats chicken now?
Oh, well, all right. Game
So,
on. That's
yeah,
awesome.
as long as you learn how to cook, the children will eat. I was lacking in that. It was very bland, so I appreciate
Flavor, that's the key. Flavor.
that. It
Well,
is.
thank you.
So let's start from the beginning. Tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you're from and how'd you end up in the Triangle.
My name is Michel McNeese, and I'm the owner of Oak City Spice Blends. My husband and I, have been here for 10 years. We moved down from New England and just absolutely fell in love with North Carolina. And so this is home permanently. We've lived all over the United States, military family. And so just really excited to be here in Johnston County. Yeah.
Same thing with me. I've been here 12 years. I literally came up here for a vacation, and then I went home, packed everything I owned, and moved back 2 weeks later. I didn't have a job or a house or nothing, but I was gonna make it work.
Absolutely.
And I've been here ever since.
Blue skies. Just beautiful here. Love it.
It is, and the grass is greener.
It is.
It is way green. I'm from Florida, so it's very brown there.
Okay.
So I do like that. So let's talk about your journey into Oak City Spice Blends. You spice people's lives up, and I love that. You spice mine up.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to start Oak City Spice Blends, and how did this passion turn into a business?
Yeah, so it's a long story in the sense that it goes all the way back when I was in college. So I'm an art history major and fell in love with medieval art. Absolutely, just absolutely adore it. And my specialty is the recreation of French 14th century illuminated manuscripts. So for 25, 30 years, I've been helping artists and patrons and curators have a better understanding of the beautiful world of art in the medieval time frame, everything from 14th to 17th century. And these are the manuscripts that have the calligraphy and the illumination, all the gold work, and just beautiful ground pigments. I just absolutely love it. But when you are working with these old manuscripts, you start asking yourself questions. Who made this? Who was that original artist? Where did they live? What did they eat? And that's the rabbit hole I just dove down. For 30 years, I've been researching flavor profiles of the world. I want to know, what were they eating in the 16th century in Hungary, or 17th century in Asia, or, Europe, and that research fell in line with the creation of the seasonings. I realized very quickly as I was doing the research that I was seeing patterns in the seasonings. Certainly it's the people, how they move, what country, where they move to. What did they bring with them? Well, they're not bringing a cow, okay? But they may bring a plant or a seasoning or a taste. And so just having a better understanding of what was indigenous to that area at that time. And it usually always came down to, the herbs and the spices. And then it's about how they put them together that would create that flavor profile. And so with the pandemic that we all survived, folks were asking me, I had done some medieval catering for parties and stuff, and they're like, hey, can you get this to me? I can't get to my normal source. And it started with just a couple recipes, and then a couple recipes more, and we're over 150 right now. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. And I know that no one is going to want to buy 150 different spice blends. But what it means is that if you want to know what someone was eating in Germany in the 16th century, I've got a seasoning for that. And that's what's cool. So the company, my company, everything is small batch and created basically on demand. So I can go look through my cookbooks, look through my notes, my research, and then provide seasonings that folks are looking for.
I love that.
Thank you.
That is great, because I grew up in a spiceless household. Mm-hmm. My mother's favorite were salt, pepper, and then this nasty meat tenderizer.
Oh,
and
I know.
It was horrible.
I'm
and it was
sorry.
probably like what it was at the time. Right?
Absolutely.
I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I was like, that really turned me off from eating a lot of
The
things.
60s to the 80s, those cookbooks, something happened. Something happened. So we go further back. We go back to the source, to the true source of where the flavors were documented. A really good example is this cookbook in front of you. It's called Platina. And that was written by the head librarian of the Vatican in the 14th century. And it's just a phenomenal cookbook. What's fun about it is that it has no measurements at all. It's just a list of ingredients. And when you think that it took a very long time for the standardization of what a teaspoon is, what a tablespoon is, what a cup is, there's a whole history on that. Talk for hours. But what it comes down to is if you know the ingredients, you can at least get close to what would have been for that dinner. And so that's what it's really about, is what were the ingredients, what were the spices and the seasonings, and then just digging deep. Yeah.
I love that. That is great. And that's one of those things, I don't cook with measurements either. It's something that...
It's from the heart.
Yeah, from the heart. The ancestors will tell me to stop. But also I think that when you're cooking, you figure out how much you want of something,
Absolutely.
too. So just having the ingredients is perfect for someone like me.
Absolutely.
But I love that you've already blended them, because I've tried to make my own, and we're not going to talk about how terrible that was. My children literally were like, if you cook again, I'm moving out. And I was like...
There are a few goals with the seasonings, and that's to help cook with joy.
Yes.
With joy. Yeah.
You gotta put a lot of
Not
heart
fear.
in there.
No fear.
I gotta get some of these to my mom and be like, hey, this is what we do now.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your Oak City Spice. Let me try that again. I can edit that out. So, Oak City Spice Blends is known for honoring historical and global cooking traditions. Can you tell us about a blend that has a unique story behind it?
Yeah. Let's see. I've got a few samples here today. So let's talk about La Bao. That's all the way over here on my side.
That's delicious.
Do you want to? I
sent
can't
it to
remember.
me, and I
what
made
you got.
I made something with it. I can't remember.
Isn't that yummy? Isn't that yummy?
It smells so good.
So La Bao has black pepper, brown sugar, chives, garlic, ginger, sea salt, sesame seeds, and a little bit of red pepper flakes. And so this is a beautiful Asian profile. Is it the end-all be-all of all Asian dishes? Of course not. Of course not. This is a introduction to someone who wants to try to make stir fry at home.
That's what I made.
See? Perfect.
Yes.
That's perfect.
And I couldn't ever get it together, and then you sent me this, and I made it with this blend. Absolutely perfection.
Perfect. Yeah. So you're not guessing how much, garlic, how much ginger, how much. 1 teaspoon per serving. That's all you need. Mm-hmm. So the proportions are right, and the flavor profile is on point. But why La Bao? My understanding is it means little spice packet. La Bao.
Well, that's cute.
But I had a question from one of my granddaughters who had started college, and she was doing the noodle packets, mm-hmm. with the little packet of spice that comes in it, and she was getting the MSG headaches. And of course, there's a lot there. First time away from home, mom's not cooking. She's doing her own thing. And so I sent her this, the idea being just let that little packet go, just let it go, and then put in 1 teaspoon into your ramen. Freeze-dried noodles. You can't go wrong with those, right? So she was able to keep the convenience of the dish, which is what she needs in college. She was able to more than keep the flavor, because this is really good.
Mm-hmm.
But she was able to let go of the side effects that weren't as healthy for her, which is really, really important to me. All the ingredients in the seasonings are gluten-free, non-GMO, no fillers, no preservatives. So for me, a story is if I can take a blend that someone loves. If you love this, but what you're getting in the grocery store isn't as optimal because you're not certain of the ingredients, well, that's where this comes in. So she's healthier, happier, thriving, and that's the whole point of this. Really.
And that's really important to me too, because I have to watch what I do with gluten. I can't have gluten. And so when I found this, I didn't know that there was gluten in a lot of spices. And then a friend of mine told me that he's also gluten-free. And I was like, well, how do we season our food?
I know.
So that was a challenge. So I really appreciate that you have this available. And
Absolutely.
It's local, guys.
Absolutely.
Right here in the Triangle.
Yeah.
I want to talk about some of your spices because I want to sniff some of them. I haven't had a chance to.
All right.
Only some of them. This Viking salt, what do you recommend for that?
So Viking salt is a very interesting seasoning. It's very old. It's out of Norway. What I love about it, black pepper, hickory and cherry smoked sea salt, onion and turmeric. Now, we know that in the 16th, 15th century, turmeric was not an ingredient up in Norway. Okay, you got to go a little further south. But that's the beauty of modern times. We know what our modern palate is. We know what we like to taste. As a culture, we love onion. We love garlic.
Guilty.
We love black pepper. Salt is definitely a consideration. So for me, I would say 90% of my seasonings do not have salt. Don't put them in. If you look at my little jars here, I've got red hearts. Those mean there's no salt in these. Okay. So if I'm putting salt in, it's because I want to control the flavor profile. I want to be able to tell you this is what it should taste like. If you want it saltier, that's on you. But if I remove it from this one recipe, it doesn't showcase it in its full beauty. Mm-hmm. So that's why I put it in. That's why 90% of them don't need salt. I'm not going to, if you want salt, you can put it in. But that also means that all the folks who are very salt conscious have more options, 90% more than you would in another facility. Regarding my Viking salt, it's salt. I'm going to tell you straight up, Viking salt. But now we're talking about the quality of the ingredients. Okay, this isn't table salt. This isn't something you're going to find in your grocery store. This comes from a beautiful supplier out of Norway. And I love them. They really do care about their product and how they process it. And that's true of all of my ingredients. I want to know exactly where these ingredients are coming from and that they meet my criteria for being a beautiful seasoning component. Hickory and cherry smoked sea salt, fantastic. Just beautiful.
I love it on my eggs. I love it on everything.
So that's the beauty of Viking salt. I don't know why, but we figured out, my husband and I, Terry, I think he said it best. The Viking salt thrives on anything that has one note. So think about your comfort foods. These are the ones that we go to time and time again because they're just warm and comfortable. So we're talking about popcorn, scrambled eggs, baked potato, French fries, mac and cheese. I know.
Yes, because I tried to make mac and cheese for Christmas, And I suck at it. So
I'll help you.
because I was like, it's missing something. I couldn't figure out what it is, and it's that smoked like flavor to it because it was just plain
It just
cheese.
needs another opportunity to have that flavor profile elevated, and that's what Viking salt does. It elevates our comfort, easy foods to where you feel like, yeah, okay, I spent a minute scrambling some eggs, but now I'm eating this gourmet.
It is. I started putting on my eggs every day.
Yeah, and it literally is just a couple of grains. I don't know if you noticed. You just need not even a pinch, half a pinch. And so just enough that it just feels really good. And it's joy. So, we like our Viking salty.
That is my favorite one. I've tried the Viking salt, the taco.
Taco Tuesday. Now, what did you do with Taco Tuesday? Do you remember?
I'm on a weird diet where I'm just making like chicken tenders and I'm trying to flavor them because it's that and vegetables. I have lupus, so I'm very conscious of what I need to eat. So what I've been doing is I take the seasoning and I'll put it on the tenders and bake them or cook them on the stove.
For sure.
And it was delicious to me. I mean,
and you're right there. So what's interesting about my Taco Tuesday, I can't speak for anyone else's, but my Taco Tuesday was developed specifically for the lighter proteins. So really, if you think about it, chicken, pork, carnitas, it's really for fish.
Really?
So fish tacos and shrimp tacos. Oh my goodness. And that's so that the flavor allows that protein, it still comes through. It's not covered up with mounds of chili powder.
Yeah, like traditional taco stuff. That's what I noticed. And when I smelled it, I was like, this doesn't smell like El Paso or whatever it's called. Right.
It's a lighter flavor profile for Taco Tuesdays, for the lighter proteins. We have a blend from Brazil called Bountiful Bahia. I hope I say that right. It's one of those interesting words, Bahia. I've heard it different ways, so I'm not certain. But I do know, based on the feedback from the people that I reach out to, I was talking to a young man who's from Brazil. He said, it doesn't matter what you call it. This is good. And it is developed for your beefy profile. So you would take the Bountiful Bahia, whether you're doing red beans and rice, or you're doing, beef stew, beef taco, burnt ends. That's the blend that I would recommend for somebody who's looking for more of a beefy profile with the chili powder and whatnot. Yeah. Where Taco Tuesday's definitely more of the fish chicken profile. Yeah.
It's not like overwhelming, and because you don't have the salt in there, I don't feel like I'm needing to like be more conscious, because that salt will make me swell.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's bad.
So Taco Tuesday has black pepper, chili powder, cumin, garlic, onion, oregano, and paprika. And my chili powder is chili that has been powdered, not chili powder, which is someone's pre-made mix of chilies and oregano and numerous other ingredients. So it's something that if you have an allergy, let's say that you're allergic to marjoram, okay, or thyme or any other of those herby ones. Unfortunately, with chili powder, it's a generic name. Kind of like if I were in a certain region in the United States and I would say I want a Coke, you might think that I want a Coke, a Coca-Cola, where someone else says, oh, she wants a soda pop, she wants soda water, she wants fizzy water. See, so there's this umbrella term, and unfortunately, chili powder has become more of an umbrella term for, it's not one single ingredient. In my case, it is. It's chilies that have been powdered. But yeah, so when you have beautiful ingredients, they don't have to, they're not used to cover up.
Yeah,
and smother.
That explains a lot, because my food tastes a lot better now when I actually taste the flavor of it.
1 teaspoon
And
per serving.
So I did mess up the first time.
No, did you?
All right, because I'm looking at it and I was like, I know she said this, but if I just put a little extra, and it burnt my mouth.
Yes. Start smallest of small for sure.
I need to keep that in mind next time. I was
Which means that on average, the way we sell it in these pouches, you're going to get anywhere from 20 to 30 servings in one pouch. The equivalent, if I were to take one of these pouches into a big box store, it would not be a pouch, it would be a 5-gallon jug. Because the rest of it's all filler.
Oh.
Preservatives. So we are programmed to use more because there's actually less in it to get the flavor. So this is a concentrated version of what flavor should be. It's just flavor, nothing else.
Wonderful.
Thank
I want
you.
to smell some more stuff.
Okay. Next up is wild garlic. This is definitely a fan favorite. If I were to say that Viking salt was our #1 seller on Amazon, the wild garlic is our #2 seller. Isn't it beautiful?
This smells so good. I love garlic, and I put it on everything.
Yeah, and rightly so. So wild garlic, it's a European-inspired seasoning, black pepper, celery seeds, chive, garlic, and onion. What this really doesn't say is the true story of wild garlic. It actually has 4 different garlics in it. Yeah.
I'm learning so much today.
It has roasted, toasted, it has flake, and then it has a black, sweet, fermented garlic in it, which is the caviar of garlic, the truffle of garlic. It is absolutely soft and so flavorful. But the only thing about it, I think of it as kind of magical, the black, sweet, fermented garlic, because it has this ability to wrap itself around the other garlic particles and take all the offensive garlicness away. So, some people are like, oh, I can't eat garlic. I have a meeting and, you don't get that with this seasoning. You can make garlic butter and still have a conversation with someone. And I attribute it to the black, sweet, fermented garlic. I think there's just something really magical in that ingredient that says, we're here to have a party, not to offend, right? So that's wild garlic. It is a very old recipe. And beautiful, whether you're just making a compound butter, if you're making a marinade, fantastic. An infused oil works really well. And then from that, one of my favorite recipes is to make a quiche with it.
I love me a quiche.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So it would be a quiche Lorraine, if I were to say it right, that it would have a little bit of bacon. Who doesn't love? I love bacon.
I love bacon. My daughter does not like bacon. She likes to smell it, though, so I don't know if that counts.
Okay. Yeah, so that's wild garlic.
That's wonderful.
Have you tried the La Spezia?
I have not. That was one I have not got. I got Cowboy Crunch, the Lubao, and the
I'd
Viking
love
salt.
to know your reaction to how that smells.
Oh my god.
Isn't it beautiful?
That is so beautiful.
It
it's
is
the basil, the garlic. You could smell it.
Yeah.
Oh, and you have this set up whenever you do shows, so
Absolutely.
people can come sniff.
That is probably the most joy that I get out of going to the markets. We attend a lot of the big festivals, the food festivals, the international food festivals, and we try to go to as many local small farmers markets as we can. We're Wake Forest, we're in Cary. We were at the pig festival in Apex last weekend. We'll be in Durham at the chocolate and bourbon festival. All I'm saying is,
exciting.
If no one wants to talk about seasonings, I'll be okay that day. It'll be fine. I'll be fine. But I do love sharing the seasonings with people, and they get to, we do a little question and answer. Do you like earthy? Do you like mild? Do you like it warm? Or are you over here in the spicy arena? That's all the way down at the end. And the jars are set up so that they have the ingredients on them, so you know exactly what's happening. And then there's some little icons that'll help you know what it pairs well with, if it's more of a fish seasoning or more vegetable, and so it starts a conversation. But it's really that first moment when they open the jar, and similar to what you just did, to smell the seasoning and to say, okay, you are either transported back in time to a beautiful memory that had something to do with Italian cuisine, whether it was a grandmother who cooked for you or a special night out or something that you created. You're just like, yes, this is great. Or it's taking you to a place of, I don't know this. I've never had this. I need this in my life. A real good example would be our Moroccan seasoning. 9 out of 10 times people will say, it's on my bucket list. I don't know. Cinnamon, that's kind of weird for savory. But the minute they open that jar, I guarantee that they're like, I'm doing this. I'm going to try it. And the argument is really that you can go into Raleigh or into any big city and go to a Moroccan restaurant and have a great meal. It's not going to be cheap, and you're going to go in not knowing for certain that this is something you're going to love. So if you want to do that, be adventurous, then be adventurous. If you want to decide beforehand, well, a pouch of Moroccan seasoning and a chicken breast and one night in your kitchen, and you'll know that this is absolutely something that I love and I need more of this. Or, okay, we tried that, let's move to the next. And you can, pass along the Moroccan to your sister or to someone else,
I thought you would like this.
Yes, yeah, I was thinking of you the whole time. So it's a very inexpensive way to try something new that is just outside maybe your normal comfort zone. Yeah.
That's what I liked about it. So you sent me like the sample pouches. Can someone go on your website and purchase those? That way they can give it a try?
Yeah, so the samplers are a little problematic. They are very intense in their packaging. It's very little seasoning, lots of labeling, packaging. And so it's not really cost effective to and shipping and all of that kind of stuff. So what we do is during the holidays, we put all of the samplers into these gold bags. So this is an example of one of those where it's a gift. It's something, it's a bit of a surprise because you don't know what's going to be in it. And so it comes with instructions, and then we put together 12 random seasonings so that people can just play the game of what are we doing tonight. There's going to be 10 seasonings, 1 tea. We have some teas on our website, and then one of our seasoning salts. So maybe it might be the Viking salt, or it might be the AA, which is our garlic seasoning, or maybe it's Hey Babe, which is a hot habanero seasoning salt. Yeah, that my husband loves the heat, absolutely loves the heat. And so when I'm developing the recipes, I won't go there. I'll put it together, but then he is the guinea pig. And he's the guy. And I was working on the Hey Babe, and every time that I needed him to come into the test kitchen, I said, Hey Babe, do you have a minute? Can you come in? And so he is absolutely loving it. He's sweating, he's feeling pure joy, and he said, This is amazing. What are you going to call it? And I said, Hey Babe. And it just stuck. It absolutely stuck. So it's one of our top sellers. For those who just want to sprinkle on some heat, Hey Babe is definitely the seasoning for that. But the samplers is usually during the holidays. It'll be available on the website or at markets, but more towards the October-November timeframe.
Oh no, that's perfect. I have so many different varieties, and I think that that's really great when cooking. So what is one of the most surprising or creative ways that someone has actually used your blends when cooking?
I love that question. Thank you. I'm always surprised at the feedback that we get, especially when we're at the farmers markets, we get a lot of return customers, and it always starts out really, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this, but I'm going to take this home and give it a shot. And my suggestion to those new cooks is to start small. Think of things like a compound butter. So with the wild garlic, to make a garlic butter, it's so simple. You take 1 tablespoon of the seasoning, take a stick or 2 of soft butter, mix it all together, throw it back in the refrigerator, let it firm up, all those flavors get into that fat, and then come back and do whatever you're going to do with it. And sure enough, they will come back and say, okay, I started there, but that's not where I ended. And people who've talked about how they embrace the technique of sautéing, it's like for some, it's a little scary. I'm going to fry this, but I don't want to burn it. How do I do it? And so they're upping their game in terms of their techniques. And then, of course, the recipes and just pure joy in being able to share meals with families with confidence. Not only because the ingredients will not make your family or your friends sick. You don't have to do can you tell me again, what are you allergic to? That whole conversation can go away when they say they're gluten-free. You're like, I'm good.
We're good.
We're good. That's nothing to worry about. And then it becomes really a celebration of what is it that you want to cook? What are you trying to achieve? So it goes from the passive, what's easy, oh, I'm just going to scramble some eggs, to I'm making a souffle. And that's what it allows, because with the portion control, 1 teaspoon per seasoning, and 1 bag of a spice blend, you've now eliminated a drawer full of 7 or 8 things that maybe you haven't used in a really long time. And there's a big difference between 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika and a pinch. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yes.
Right? So if the profile is on point, the ingredients are beautiful, and all you have to do is say, oh, I'm making, chicken breast for 2. Okay, which seasoning do we want to use? Do we want to have it be a taco type of profile? Do we want to go to Italy? Do we want to have an Asian profile? That's what you get to determine. Because we know everybody's got chicken, everybody's got, those are the same. It's the flavor profile that changed, which means that when someone says, I don't know, what do you want for dinner? It doesn't have to be sunken, I don't know. It's like, well, we've got this, or this. What do you want to try? From there, it's really interesting to have a conversation with someone who makes the leap from the proteins to the sides. So,
okay.
Right. Okay.
All right, now we're getting into it. All right.
Okay, so this is where we're going to talk about how to get the most flavor out of these dried herbs and seasonings. Okay, now, going the Wayback Machine to medieval era, if you ran out of an ingredient, what did you do?
Panic?
Well, you're waiting for the next ship to come in. There is no Walmart. There's no one going to DoorDash it to you. So you did not just throw something out because it had a date on it. We're not talking about dairy. We're talking about herbs and seasonings. And so the idea wasn't how long is this good for? That's not the question. The question is, how do I get the most flavor out of the seasoning while I have it? Mm. And the technique that they developed is called blooming. It's beautiful. This is where you use a fatty emulsion to do the work for you. And
so like butter, oil.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. So I have a little chart here for you. And this is on the website. And mostly when we talk about fatty emulsions, you're concerned about the smoke point. Where does avocado oil or coconut oil, where does it start to burn, right? So the chart has that. So you can say, okay, I'm going to be cooking low and slow, or this is a stir fry, I'm going to go high. So start with that to determine what the best choice of the fatty emulsion is for you. Whether it's butter, brown butter, ghee, olive oil, EVOO, avocado. You see where I'm going with that. And it has the temperatures. But then on the chart, it also has what it pairs best with. So that can help you determine which fatty emulsion to use with the protein or the vegetable that you are looking to cook. So here's how it works. If you take a 1/4 cup of beautiful olive oil, okay, and you take 1 teaspoon of Cowboy Crunch, okay, put it in there and then put it on the stovetop or the microwave, warm it up for 5-10 seconds, okay, just warm. I'm not bubbling, not boiling, just warm it up. Take it off the heat, out of the microwave, and let it sit for a minute or two. What's going to happen is that fat is going to wrap around all of these beautiful particles and just infuse that oil with all that flavor. Well, now you've gone from 1 teaspoon of flavor to a 1/4 cup of flavor, okay? So now you have this sitting aside, and it's cooling down, okay? You don't want it to get too cool. You want it to be room temperature. At the same time, you've already taken the chicken or the vegetables out of the refrigerator, specifically the proteins, and you let them come to room temperature. You don't go crazy. We're talking just barely room temperature, okay? There's safety here, right? But what you want to have happen is that the pores will literally open on that chicken breast. So now you've got open pores. You've got this warm 1/4 cup filled with flavor, and you're just going to drizzle it all over it. Put it in a Ziploc baggie, rub it all over. Now put it back in the refrigerator and leave it there. An hour or two, let it marinate. What happens is that those pores are open. Now that flavor isn't just sitting on top. It's going down into the middle of that chicken breast. Okay? If you do it where it's coming straight out of the refrigerator, the fat layer is now a barrier to that flavor getting into the protein or into with the vegetables. Room temperature is perfect because it's open and it's receptive. And just drizzle it on there and then let it marinate for a little bit. And so this technique of blooming, the American Test Kitchen did a whole study on it back in 2014. And they tested everything, every version of it that they could. And what they determined was that if you do the blooming technique, you will get 10 times more flavor in your chicken than if you just sprinkle it on and then let radiant heat from the oven try to get that flavor into the middle of that chicken. Okay, so if you start with that technique, well, now you've already made a home run. You just can't miss. You don't need to know much more than that. Professional chefs know all about timing and temperatures and techniques and tools and all that stuff. But as a home cook, I'm a home cook. I don't have a lot of time. I have a lot of things to do. But I can take a minute to take the chicken out, let it come. I can take a minute to decide we're going with Cowboy Crunch or Bountiful Bahia or Escape to Blue Ridge, whichever seasoning. I'm doing 2 chicken breasts, 2 teaspoons. I can put them in that 1/4 cup or a little more. I can warm it up for 5-10 seconds. I can drizzle it on that chicken, throw it back into the refrigerator. And then when it's time to bake it off, it's good to go. So yeah.
No, that's great. I really appreciate that information because I'm gonna tell you what I do and you're gonna cry because I didn't understand until just now. I get it now. I used to look at the chicken and I'm like, how do I get the flavor in there? So I would take it out and I'd put it in the thing and I would always use citrus or vinegar to be able to break it down.
Sure.
And that does not always equal deliciousness. But I was like, I didn't understand, so I appreciate that.
Well, vinegar and lemon, the citrus is a brightening agent. So it has its place, absolutely. I prefer to have it as a finishing, a little swish of lemon on top once it's done. Now we brighten up that flavor profile. But, there are so many techniques. My favorite technique of all of them is actually out of Africa. It's using a slow cook method with a cooking vessel called a tagine. It is absolutely mouth-watering what this beautiful cast iron slow cooker can do. It's a deep dish pan, cast iron, and it has a lid that is in the shape of a pyramid. Okay, and that's what differentiates it from a slow cooker cast iron here in the States. What we have is usually a glass lid that's kind of domey shaped.
Yeah.
Right. And what I believe the difference is that if I were to take both of those side by each, from New England, side by each, and put a chicken in both, put some root vegetables in it, take some broth. Now my fatty emulsion is now going to be a chicken broth instead of an olive oil. Okay, so I'm going to warm up the chicken broth. Right, I'm going to put the seasoning in it, same amount. It's a chicken, probably 4 to 6 servings, so 4 to 6 teaspoons. Drizzle it all over the root vegetables, all over the chicken. Put that domey lid on. Put that pyramid lid on. Put it in the same oven, the same time, at the same temperature, and I will get a completely different meal. And here's why. With the dome, that condensation that's happening, it rolls up onto it, and then at the top, it rolls back down the sides of the glass. Mm-hmm. That real low slope. With a pyramid, it travels to the top, and then it splooshes down. It doesn't just drip back down the sides. It becomes this marinating type of action.
That explains why my chicken's so dry.
So you get this beautiful tenderizing as a side benefit. So that's how I cook my slow cook meals. That's my favorite. I like it low, slow, let all the flavor just keep swirling around in there. But I don't want to stand there and stir it. I don't want to have to keep checking it and turning it. And so that's why it's my favorite. Yeah, it's to do the slow cooking.
I'm going to have to check that out because I absolutely love
tagine. That's the name
I'm
of
gonna,
it. Yeah.
Well, I'll remember because we're recording.
Yeah.
But normally I write everything down. But that's great because I normally like my crock pot, but I only like it for certain things. And every time I try to make like chicken and I shred it, it's just dry and it's it's not good for me.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to figure out how to be able to do the low and slow and walk away from it. And
I think it's
bad.
the shape of the lid, and I could be proven wrong, but every time we use the tagine, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
I'm gonna have to try that. I do a little, as a hobby, I have a little cooking thing I do, and so I'm learning how to cook because, like I said, when I was growing up with her terrible, seasoning and everything, and I was like, food is gross. So
we can do better,
right? And so now I'm like, we've advanced so much as a society. There's different options.
Absolutely, and now it's accessible. I couldn't have purchased a tagine 20, 30 years ago.
No, I love that, and I love that we're here now, and it's not.
That's right. Embrace it.
Yeah, 60s recipes.
That's right. Yeah, let those cookbooks go.
They're great for like a coffee table centerpiece to talk about, but that's as far as it goes.
Yeah.
So you've created a testing program called the Flavor Foundry. Tell us what it is and how it helps shape your products.
Well, I can't do this alone, is what it boils down to. I can play the chemist all day and the researcher all day, but at the end I need feedback. And so I've been so blessed to have such a wonderful community of people from all over the world who've been willing to say, yeah, if you're ever working on a German blend, I lived in Germany for 20 years, I'm more than happy to talk to you about it. And so the Flavor Foundry is my testing ground where I can send off samples to people and invite others in. If you have
Sorry, our dog loves food, and he heard us talking about it, and he's in here.
Pretty. I know Hungarian food, and I'm more than happy to share my experience. Well, then come on in. I'd love to chat with you, and that's what the Flavor Foundry is, because this can't possibly be done in a vacuum. And even when we're talking about the recipes that are, from the 16th, 17th, 18th century, 19th century, and there's people who, there's no one here to say, was that what it, right? And so it's a guess, but it can be an educated guess. And people who have studied the Viking era and truly understand what would have been happening. While they may raise an eyebrow at my Viking salt, they know it's on point.
Again, because this is like
yeah.
I can't explain it, but just something.
I know.
Oh, and I put it on everything. I used to be an adobo person, just to make sure everything tasted good.
I have
What's that,
a
Jackson?
adobo recipe. It's called 16th century adobo, and it's one of the very first recipes for adobo that was written by a priest in a monastery in Latin America, and it's good.
I'm gonna have to try that.
I'll make sure you get a sampler. Yeah.
No,
for
that's
sure.
exciting. 'Cause
Yeah. The whole technique of adobo, there's so much history, such beautiful culture. I think that for me, that's what makes this so much fun, is that I can really explore, really from my from my chair, how people lived, what it took for them to get that story to me, so that I could then share it. And so yeah, it's pretty special.
No,
Pretty
that's
special.
great, and I love that. I cannot wait to try them all. That's my goal. I think you have over 150 blends. Is that correct?
There's a lot, and I know it can be very overwhelming on the website. You go on the page, and before you know it, it's just you just keep scrolling and scrolling, and it's hard. There are some filters, so you can say, look, I want to make something with chicken. What do you recommend? So you can at least filter out certain things, all the sweet seasonings that may not apply. But if you're looking for a deep dive into something special, I'm working on a seasoning out of Sri Lanka, and it's going to be called Sapphire Isle, and all the curries that are made with coconut milk, and it's going to be so beautiful. And I met a beautiful family in Raleigh. Their family is from Sri Lanka, and they shared their passion with cinnamon with me, and just to have those conversations and be able to say, hey, what do you think? And go, yeah, you done good.
I love that.
It's great.
Where do you see Oak City Spice Blends in the next few years? Are there any new projects or anything you've dreamed about working towards?
Yeah, I was really concerned that I don't know what I don't know. I've taken my company over the last 3 years, so 30 years of research, 3 years of putting it into products. I've changed the packaging so many times that my husband is really over it. He's over it. And I know there's another version in me when we get to the co-packer, because they'll need different specifications. But what I realized was that I didn't go to school for this. This is just me trying to make it work. And I've had a few things that they're not failures. I learned from those interesting scenarios, but I don't want to learn that again. Mm-hmm. So Launch JoCo, are you familiar with the program?
Yes, I love Launch JoCo. We talk about it on the podcast all the time.
Yes, yeah. So I was blessed. I'm just going to say it. I was blessed to have been offered the opportunity to be in this current cohort. And so I'm learning from the very best in Johnston County and in Raleigh, really, the people that are coming in. So as an entrepreneur, I'm learning about pricing. I'm learning about who's my avatar? Just all these things that I just always thought was kind of silly. Well, how would you not know your pricing? I was so wrong. Woo! And so learning from that, I'm now we're almost done with the class sessions. We have one more class, and I got my mentor. And so for 6 months, I'll be with my mentor. And as someone who's been a mentor, now I've taught art, this is very different being the mentee. Mm-hmm. And it's humbling. It definitely, you're vulnerable. You have to question everything that you held true and dear. But knowing that the person who is guiding, who's there for you, wants the best for you. And that doesn't always come to us. We don't always get that in our lives as a small business owner. I heard a recent podcast that you had with the young lady. She does jewelry. Yes. And I'm listening to it, and all of a sudden I realize I have purchased jewelry from her from an event in Smithfield. And I lost her name. Now I was able to go back and see her Instagram and validate that's her. And now I know I can get more. And But here's this young little power of just yummy goodness who's on the very same journey that I'm on, which I just thought, oh my goodness. And I believe her mother is her mentor, and her mother is trying to get more people to mentor to this age group. And I'm thinking, I always just felt so blessed that someone of my age was invited. So we're at different ends of the spectrum, but we all want to learn, and we all want to have our passion project turn into something amazing. And so, do I have big dreams? You bet I do. You bet I do. And it's all about gluten-free. It's all about other local creators having a place where they can create their gluten-free products with all the right insurance and all the right stuff. And as a umbrella, be able to purchase all the services that you need, graphic design, bookkeeping, all these things that we do by ourselves. Well, when we come together, we have a bigger buying power. So, yeah, I have a lot of dreams, but my vision right now is in 6-month increments. And the mentorship is really important to me. I'm looking forward to see what this brings, graduate from the program in November, and then it's off to the races. Yeah.
I love that. They say dream big or don't do it at all. So.
Or don't do it at all. Don't do it at all.
And if they don't scare you, they're not big enough.
You, right. And mine are a little scary, as someone who's ready to really, I'm going to be retiring from my full-time job here in a couple of years. What is that next phase? And so I'm laying the foundation for that transition so that it's a very easy transition.
I love that you're doing that. That's fabulous, because I think about that all the time, and I'm like, I watched my dad retire real early. I think he was 55 or almost 60, and all he did was kind of mosey around and be bored, and you got to have something that fuels you still. So I love that you're like, we're going to transition right into passion.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
Fabulous.
Thank you so much.
So I can't wait to see the future. So you're going to have to come back in a year, and you're going to have to update us on everything that you've done, where you're going, all of it.
I'd love to do that. Thank you.
Thank you for coming out and sharing this with me. I am excited to start cooking.
Excellent.
When I get back from vacation, it's on. Me in that kitchen.
This is for you. In here is 10 different seasonings, a tea, and a salt. And the 10 are very random. So you can, I don't know, you may be in Africa, you may be in Asia, you may be in the Middle East, you may be in Hawaii. We have a seasoning out of Hawaii. So I don't know what's in the gold pouch, but I hope you enjoy it.
Well, thank you so much. And I will definitely be posting these videos to YouTube so people can know how I got to there.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Now that I know how to actually use it, we're going to throw the vinegar out. I've been told
leave it for the brightening at the end. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're not going to do that anymore. So if listeners want to try your blends or learn more, where should they start? Is there any must tries or go-tos?
Well, I think that everybody has a unique palate, and you need to understand yours. So if you're on the fence about spicy, don't start spicy. It'll just turn you off. It'll just say no, because this is highly concentrated flavor. So if you like earthy spice blends, herb de Provence, the wild garlic, French countryside is a beautiful seasoning that is perfect for the earthy profile, from chicken noodle soup to oh my gosh, you can just do everything with that. It's a beautiful blend. Just if you take a teaspoon and put it in some shredded cheese and make a cheeseburger, it is amazing what just a little bit of an herby profile will do to a cheeseburger. It's amazing. But really, the answer is to know your palate, and then start there. On the website, everything is broken down by earthy, mild, warm, or spicy. So if you're a spicy person, you want to just jump right in the deep end, then I would highly recommend Tick, Tick, Boom. It will blow your socks off. I can't do it.
I love that name. I'm not a spice person.
Yeah.
I think black pepper is as far as I go. But I am working up to it. Like I said, I think it was the Cowboy Crunch. I kind of put a little too much, and I was like, okay, I shouldn't have done that. But
Yeah.
I want to work up to it because as I grow and as everyone else does, our taste buds change.
They
and
do.
so
They do.
I'd like to explore a little bit more. A little bit
Yeah.
of heat.
So for a real quick recipe for Cowboy Crunch, take a little bit of honey and a little bit of mustard, put in 1 teaspoon, warm it up so it's all drizzly, drizzle that over chicken wings, and then put that in the air fryer. 6 minutes on each side.
Gosh, that
That's
sounds
it.
so good.
That's all you have to do. And it is just, it's just beautiful. There's a little bit of mustard in there. There's certainly some garlic, and it's just a beautiful blend. Cowboy Crunch. Yeah.
It is. I just had it on the chicken, and it was delicious.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was so good.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate you sending that to me because now I have a place to go and it's gluten-free and I don't have to worry.
Gluten-free.
I am so excited about that.
Non-GMO. So important.
It is. Especially now with like so much processed everything.
Yeah.
You just take it out, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So, do you want to look at the camera and do your 30 seconds?
Sure.
All right.
So my name is Michel McNeese, and I'm the owner of Oak City Spice Blends. I specialize in historical blends that are created in small batches, and everything is gluten-free, non-GMO, no fillers, no preservatives. The goal is to help you and your family eat really well and easily.
Jackson approves.
Jackson approved. I win.
We're in the middle of his dinner time, so we're gonna
I'm
wrap
sorry,
that
buddy.
up.
So yeah.
Well, tell everybody else where they can find you. What's your website and your
Yeah.
social medias?
Yeah, so everything is Oak City Spice Blends with an S. So .com, Facebook, Instagram, yeah. Oak
Love
City
it.
Spice Blends.
So go give her a like and a follow and definitely reach out and see when she's going to her next market and you can come take a sniff and then
Absolutely.
purchase and taste exactly what we have done today. It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Some of my personal favorites, which I've mentioned before, was the Viking salt. I like the taco. And she even puts on here, look, cheese, chicken. So you'll know exactly how to use it
Absolutely.
because that is one of the biggest things about cooking is knowing how to use it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for joining us for another exciting episode of Down Home Dirt. Thank you very much for coming out today and
Truly
doing this
appreciate it.
demonstration. I love it.
Thank
and
you.
we'll catch you next week.